So let's refresh the bracket, and I will see where we're at. Liz and Dollar was one of two matches we were waiting on. It looks like Clifford and Vlad was the other one. But they appear to be reporting their scores, so they are probably done. In which case, we will be advancing our round into round 4. Do I not have Clifford or Vlad? Apparently not. This is why it says, please add SirProok. We will track down these renegade individuals. Let me see if I'm making sure I'm spelling their names right. Clifford Smack. And Vlad 22092004. They've only put in one game, so I think they're reporting as they go. Alright, I've got Vlad. So we'll hop in and the match is ended. So now they might be done. Kitty just got fed. So that is either the case that... Who won game 1? If Vlad won that game, then they are done. Because that will have completed their set as they reported him as winning game 1. Ashera, wasn't that a fertility god from... where would it have been? Phoenicia? Phoenician fertility god? Or in that area. Middle Eastern. I don't know, that's a lot of those did a lot of culture swapping back in the day. Clifford and Vlad are now the only ones we are waiting on. Fingers crossed we'll be able to advance soon. Farkas just picking himself out of the food dish. Farkas, you big enough. Your belly looks fine. It doesn't need worked on. He's a silly kitty. Ernst came in, got what he wanted, then left because he wanted to see what was going on in the kitchen. As long as he eats a little, he's like, I'm fine. I'm a kitty. I'm a little kitty. I don't need that much food. Alright, Clifford actually went 2-1 over Vlad. So we are going into round 4, and I will pull back up our standings once I get that generated for us to take a look at. We will see who is in the lead and what the final matches are shaping up to be. Well, hi, kitty. Bye, kitty. Alright, pull this over. Head over to our bracket. Pull it up for everyone else to see. So, standings. Going in, our top 3. Endol, TMO, Liz Maru. Following close behind, Dollargrass, Ermark, ID Blue. And I could keep reading, but we only did 6 last time, so there's a native stop for me. NRO, Aquaman, Kuzia, Jelly, Seth Dove, Mag, and then the One Win Crew following up. So Endol, TMO, and Liz. Who is versus each other? TMO and Liz are going up. Endol has been pared down a bracket, which is fine, that's why we do Swiss. And is facing Dollar, the current 4th place. Let's take a look at TMO's lists. We've not seen them yet. So he's bringing a Spell Sword, a Sorcerer, and a Dagoth list. Liz, as mentioned, mono green, green plus blue plus purple. There's a certain color Liz likes to play. So we have a blue Sorcerer list. I like it. Running a single copy of Wilds. Then using Mighty Conjurings, Telvos, and just a ward package. The Dwemer Crabs that we have seen. And a mid-Dagoth list. Okay, interesting. Triple Oathman. It just tries to go for the 5 power. And just rock that all the way to the bank. Late game caps out at Encano, so not running the higher end. Just trying to win by turn 7, turn 8. I like the lists. It's got a good bit of variety, but also you know what your plan is. You play your cards, you go face, nothing fancy. No combos, it's honest work. Then Liz, we've not looked at hers. We've seen a lot of them, but we've not looked at them. Alright, I want to start with the... Alright, so Mono Green is the move list. This list has almost consistently been banned in every matchup I've seen Liz play. People look at it, they're like, I don't know why Knife to the Throat is in a list, but We got to see it played during the first qualifier, I believe, under her. I believe she brought it. And it did relatively well. And so now it's just filling in that blocked spot where they're like, no, not dealing with this today. It'll be interesting to see if we can get this played, or if it's just going to permanently be sitting in the banned slot. So then green plus blue is the assassin that we've seen. Also able to play from behind. The Blackhand Messenger was a 1-in-2 pickup that ended up winning her that game. Not bad. Otherwise, relatively standard assassin list, with the exception of running a fair bit of 0 drops. I've not seen that in the burst assassins I've run into, but the double ward and triple forked bolt just has extra ways to try to get around guards or trick your way past tricky situations. Then fully expanded, the Telvanni. It's Telvanni conscription, running the Flesh Atronach finisher, using Flesh Atronach, Mentor's Ring, and Bendari Opportunist. Pretty simple. Effective. Well, how effective, we'll continue to see, but it's been effective when we've seen her running it. Curve extremely low, as is standard for these kind of decks, but allows for hopefully more of a control reactive gameplay against aggro. And let's see who's in game. So we are looking for Liz or Dollar, as they're the top ones. Do I have TMO in game? Yes, okay. Wanted to make sure we were able to see both sides. Farkas is down cleaning the food dish now. Various people have started, as Ninjaro there, getting into the friend challenge. Is TMO, right? 306? Yes, 306. I just wasn't sure if the one I'm looking for is TMO 420 or 100. And then I'm just sitting here like, TMO 306. Play your game. I'm watching you. You are not the person I'm waiting on, but you are being watched. But no, it is the person we're looking for. Likely he and Liz are spending their sweet time on the using their check-in time just to kind of stand up and go, I'm not shaking anymore. We're not shaking. We're good. And then just kind of sitting down and going, okay, let's look through their bans. Let's see how I think my decks are going to stack up. What do I think my opponent will ban? And thinking I know what they're going to ban, what should I ban? I never put that much thought into my bans when I was playing. My option when I stacked my lists, or when I choose to build a tournament lineup, it's usually I bring 2 really good decks, and then a third that's kind of ban bait. That I might not be the best at playing, but is still a really solid threat, and maybe has been talked up a little bit too much. So ban bait is fun. I believe ban bait for me last time was I brought a mono yellow aggro. Last time I played in a tournament. Got banned every single time except for one. And that one game it didn't get banned, it won. So it did what it was supposed to. Scroll up and check Dollar. Alright, Dollar has gotten, they're the other one of our semifinal list. It's Dollar versus Endel. So the mid BM versus the Crab's Reteran.
Mud crab merchant. Read my lips.
You're not going to get value off of this. So you take, yeah. It looks like Dollar's in a wee bit of a trouble. Otherwise known as has a 7, a 7, and an 8 in hand with a do-nothing 2 and card draw's not bad. So uses the 2-1 to break the ward. He just continues to hammer home. Has an Orc Clan captain for next turn once one of these crabs is cleared. Dollar wishing he had a Ice Storm here.
Let's shed some light on the problem.
So hear me out. Firebolt here. Rapid Shot clear here. And then pass with Telvos. Get that ward, try to maintain that ward on your face. No idea. So goes to try to set up his own form of lethal. He's got 8 or 17 damage counting the bolt. And he's a Magicka shy of playing Encana, which would still be short. So let's see, if an Orc Clan Captain comes down... How much do you trade to control the board here? Can't play the items. So trades here. 5, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you're going to get a ward, so 5. Does your opponent have 5 burst? We see 4 burst in hand. 2, 3, 4. So you belly G this. Take the trade here. And then send that face. I think that is the best option available. You could Sentinel Reclaimer, which gives you the trade here, using 4 Magicka. Gives you 3 Magicka remaining. You're not controlling this lane then at all. Alright, he's going for it. Which is going to be a loss, barring a prophecy. This Orc Clan Captain comes here, that breaks the rune. You hit for 4, and then you equip Scimitar, hit for 6. Endel didn't see it. Oh, he can squish his own Sower. Tricky, tricky. I was like, he had a rune skip. Why didn't he go with the rune skip? Which, to be fair, I don't think they were going to prophecy health gain. But had they prophesied a bolt and targeted one of those creatures, that would have blocked the lethal. However, the lethal still occurred, so regardless of what you think, Endel takes game 1. Is TMO in a game now? We're going to kind of bounce back between the two of them. Because we haven't seen TMO play at all. Alright, so we're seeing... Oh! Ugh. That's a hand of cards, I guess. I will say that's why I don't run... I've had this happen to me before, and I think that was the last time I ran 3 Swift Strikes in a deck.
I hate this crowd.
Spriggan, Pawnbroker. Hope you get a Shackle. And then you can shift one of them over here. If you don't pull anything good, Morag Tongue. Like, you're really hoping for a snake. Instead, you get a Pit Lion, which you can play? Yes, but Pawnbroker needs to play directly here. You can't shift it.
Have business with House Halanu.
Dres Spy, not what was requested. But does allow you to play out your Pit Lion. Nope.
I want to be an assassin, like Nari.
Bricking for 4 card draws, 3 Swift Strikes, and a Shadow Shift. Means TMO is going to take game 1, in all likelihood. I mean, there's 10, there's 4. Green, not renowned for prophecy, save you.
This was a worthy contest.
Sorcerer is a really solid deck, though. And, in my mind, is still up there with one of the most powerful decks, color combinations to be run. Whether you run specifically a Oh, what variant would it be? I had my water bottle sitting on my lap. Must have had some condensation on it. I noticed I was like, my water bottle's wet, and so are my pants. But I digress. You can run Consume, you can run mid like he's running there, just with wards to keep your creatures alive. It runs into trouble versus goblins, but if you're banning goblins in the tournament, you might just have all that you need to get through. We'll sit and wait for a game 2 for TMO. Alright, in-game. Alrighty. So Liz is upgraded to the Burst Assassin and has Ring. So I imagine you open with the Mournhold.
Of course I'm on your side.
And you're gonna respond Flamesinger Shadow. Set up the Channeled Storm trade. However, Liz is gonna ward up onto the trader to prevent that. So maybe to play around ward, you put Alter Flamesinger in field.
Today, I will play in kind.
Top decking 2 Blood Sacraments early isn't great.
Didn't see this coming, eh?
Well, let's see if we can find something useful.
Opts to put down the Reclaimer. So you just use the Channeled Storm to clear here.
I will spare your blood.
There's not a whole lot of interactivity from the Sorcerer list. So we could see Liz just completely pivot Shadow here and just try to outrace them, knowing that they've got the more powerful cards and 8 damage already in hand. Well, if you count the items, 12 damage already in hand.
Watch yourself now. This might be handy. Let's put these to use.
4 Magicka, so we're looking at an Altmer and a Wardcrafter. Both targeting, well, Wardcrafter self and Altmer obviously has self-warded. You don't have Drain, that I recall from seeing the list.
Careful there, friend. Everything is taken from me. Today, I will pay in kind.
Alright, the cats are done eating. While we see that this plays out, I'm going to try to track one of them down. Alright, found the big old loaf of a cat. Alright, doesn't look like I missed much. So rewarding up, spreading out the items, continuing to push damage phase. One Magicka shy of deploying a Telvos. Of course, as soon as I put Farkas in, he was like, there's still food in that dish, I'm gonna go eat it. Well, hi, Arist. Are you gonna get up on the cat tree? Looks like it. Liz only needed to be able to connect for 4 damage, but does need a creature down for the Blood Sacrament to take effect.
Let's put these to use.
Shifts looking for such a creature. Blackhand Messenger. Not bad. Achieves your goal. And gives you extra damage. So that'll allow if Telvos comes down next turn. Alright, I imagine negation, trade. Then because we have 4 Daggerfall? Because this needs cleared. That's not an option. But that also does extra damage. So maybe Alfeek could come down. That's a risk that he's not going to shift around you and punch you in the face again.
Khajiit will keep you safe.
So did end up going for the Alfiq. However, the Blood Sacraments then double, coming down, closes the game out. Liz taking it to a game 3. Liz's assassin has done some work, and what's interesting is, so one of the things I had predicted could happen at the beginning. Just thinking, like, Tribunal wins the first qualifier. So, there was either going to be a transition to control, or a transition to extra aggro. And it looks like the transition was actually over to ward. A bunch of warded decks getting played to try to deal with the damage. Because even the Burst Assassin here is a little ward heavy from Liz. And using that to try to trick out the trades. Alright, game 3. So the crabs is what's left.
Talking mud crab merchant.
Keeps an embassy guard, threw away a vanquisher. Interesting choice. I mean, you're trusting in the warden just to hold back maybe one lane for a turn or two?
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
Liz preserving her ring for later.
Watch yourself now.
Uses the Wardcrafter to trick past the Scooter. And plays out another Quartermaster. So just building up a critical mass of power in the lane. To start setting up the dwarves for the Halls of the Dwemer. Can't ward them all, so I think, yep, Reclaimer just comes down. Might have gone face first. Definitely would have gone face first, but might only be going for 4. No, if you're equipping a dagger, you're not. You're going for 7 then.
Your head. Do your worst. Don't underestimate me.
So known in hand is dagger, dagger, sword. Picked up a dynamo, which you can give guard here, so you trade. You just start working through the weaker minions. I guess, yeah, you've got 4 health. You trade with that one. Do you ward to keep your guy alive here? I don't think you play Ice Spike. You've got enough Magicka to play other stuff. Closing cards like that, in my mind, should be saved. And got punished by pulling a Prophecy off the top of your deck. The Bruma lurking about in hand. We might see next turn a Bruma Embassy Guard, pending what happens over here. And then that kind of sets up for a Halls of the Dwemer the turn after.
Well, let's see if we can find something useful. Let's put these to use. I'm ready for you.
Oh, I saw Mr. Death requesting a score report. I can go ahead and do that. Just make sure I get it correct. 2-1.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
Let me go ahead and grab that for him. Also, my phone is just vibrating all over. Alright, has to clear the drain. Understandable.
Let's put these to use.
So here's where we pivot to Halls. Right? Maybe? No. Fervor. Fervor's better here. Because it allows you to trade without sacking your Dwemer. And then you get to put out a crab. Who's a good little crab. You do have to be careful of your opponent being able to stick minions to the board, because you're looking at 3, 6, 7, 8 damage on hold. Opts to play Halls. What are you looking at? 9, 10? So you want to play out as many creatures as possible. 6 Magicka, that's 2/2/2. You get a Wardcrafter, a Harpy, and a Vanquisher. All of them go field. Harpy the 1/2. Use these as card draw. You're representing 6 damage, so you'd have to find 12 for 7. It's a little risky, but you're not drawing a card, and you're behind if you're setting up over here. Going for the shadow setup.
Please, Moloch, with our careful there, friend.
So Fervor Embassy Guard going into the shadow. That is probably TMO's logic behind why whatchamacallit, Hall's got played this turn.
Chimeric spirit of the sky, guide us.
Avoiding the Rune Break, and then getting the 1/5 Prophecy Guard Ward.
We'll put a stop to the tricks.
So you have Bolt for, well, specifically tricks. So you could Bolt here, wound this, equip Sword, trade. That goes face. Your opponent's then at 9. And I guess you had 1 spare Magicka, so you equip the dagger somewhere. You're going to be fighting for every point of Magicka. Or, sorry, using every point of Magicka for as much damage as possible. Alternatively, you could Bolt the 7/4 and focus on not taking damage. Goes for the baby don't hurt me route.
Face me, dog.
Then equips the dagger like that. The idea being that if this trades with anything, it's then trading away. However, yet another Fervor, followed up by a Dwarven Sphere into Shadow, is going to argue with this expected turn of events. Let's adjust Cat Cam. I just now realized you guys really can't see him. Normally I would have been yelled at by now, but I don't know where we're at in the delay. So I might be yelled at just yet. Okay, so it's choosing to go wide and save the Fervor for next turn. So trade the Harpy in. Picking up Blood Sacrament isn't the worst thing in the world. Alright, let me make sure everything's okay with my phone, because it buzzed yet again. And who knows, maybe there's some sort of thing going on I need to be aware of. Alright, it is nothing I need to be paying attention to right now. And I hear action. Is going ahead, collecting back that 4 health, and then setting up to try to push for 8 next turn and hope that is able to squeak out lethal with sword and dagger. However, there's 21 damage on board, and Divine Fervor ups that by 5, so 26.
Chimeric spirit of the sky, guide us.
Hoping for Prophecy Harpies here. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 19. Would need 2 Prophecies. And I think they can get a Rune Skip in. Yes. Hit for 7, hit for 3, hit for 7. 4, 7. 7 works as well. And TMO is going to take the set 2-1. Congratulations to both Liz and TMO. They played very well. Liz may look at tweaking her list to possibly adjust how many Swift Strikes are in that green, given what we saw. But they played well. Let me refresh our bracket, and I will see where we're at. Fellerin and Devil are still playing. TMO and Liz just finished, which leaves ID Blue and Magagat, who are currently 1-1 and are either reporting their score. Well, here's Fellerin. Let's watch them finish up their game.
I smell the stench of the living.
Oh boy. Look at those health totals. Fellerin did bring a tribunal list, and Devil is running an Empire list to oppose. Looks to be a hand buff.
Should have been.
Rallied onto yonder Shadowfen. Not overly useful. What are we looking at over here? That's going to be card draw. Can't really get around that. So maybe you exalt Archcannon here so that that's either a trade or he can't. He'll be a little more difficult to get the trade on Seducer. Also, it nets you card draw, which is... Historically, it has been a good thing to get card draw. Looks like he's setting up a trade with the Spider. I don't think it really matters which way you're going at this point. Getting rid of the Spider's kind of a necessity eventually.
The tribunal will always come to the people's aid. Behold the tribunal's power.
You give Drain and Guard to the... I would give it to the Seducer here if he's not running Viper. If he's running Viper, well then you're just giving him a value trade. So I guess you would give it to Sarioni himself. Keep your 4/7 behind Guard. Alright, first Rune Prophecy.
Speak, citizen.
And an Edict. So you can Edict this, trade, well, draw a card first, just in case, you never know. I think it's safer to use the Edict. Shadowfen appears to be coming out. I guess there will be bigger things in a tribunal list to Edict.
You must be cleansed.
Like, say, a Vivek that gets exalted. It's a good Edict target. Realistically, though, we may see Encano come down to clear the Shadowfen, keeping the value trades alive. In which case, we'll see an Immolating Blast as a response. Followed by a Bruma Profiteer. It looks like he's looking at Edicting. So is Bruma going into the Shadow then to trade? Bruma's staying in hand. Okay. I'm not saying anything because I don't know what route I want to take with Fellerin's hand. I'm like, do you think you can aggro your opponent down? With Dawn's Wrath, an Exalted Vivek, Negation for Drain, and Initiate? And if they go wide, you just end up playing Ice Storm and resetting the board?
Godhood is like juggling. Things are always back to darkness as I have written.
So now we play Immolating Blast. Vivek survives. Nope. Got the one he wanted to... Got the ones he wanted to die. Dead.
The waters of life.
Goes ahead and grabs an extra point of Magicka Ramp.
Speak, citizen.
Oh, and the Saints came marching in. Just when the Saints came marching in.
Feel the power within you.
So oppose with even more Drain.
Citizen.
Try to force that 2-for-1 trade. Fellerin is at card advantage. Well, is he? Because it currently stands. I guess, yeah, because he could just play Dawn's Wrath, all of that's moot point, and then he's up 2 cards. Up 1 card. Yeah, so it's actually closer than I thought. What have we got in each player's discard pile? Channeled Storm, remove Initiate. We haven't seen any of Devil's big creatures, which we would expect given that he's running Ramp. Fellerin, we've seen all the creatures we've seen thus far.
Sign me up.
Plays down more card draw and gets a single copy off of single card off of Faded Wraith. Is it good? It's a conscription.
You won't.
I would consider that good. I mean, it's gonna play into Ice Storm, but that's a-okay. What we're gonna see is the trade here, pick up the card, play out conscription, and hope to ever-loving Vivek that the first card pulled is Bruma Profiteer. Ooh, now that's tempting. Yeah, I still think you need to play the conscription to get the health back. That's not bad. You'll end up buffing Channeler. Channeler can squish Pet. Opting to go for a Thieves Guild. Not a bad reset. Trade for the health and then Ice Storm the board away. Doesn't want more health because you're just, if your opponent breaks your runes, that's fine. But now with all that card draw, you've kind of begun to set the stage for a comeback.
Training is over. It's time to act. Soldiers, form up!
So you drop Clivia Tharn. Nope, just leaving that as is. So what actions does Feller and Evan his grave? 4 of them. Bolt, Ice Storm, Negation, Storm, and Channeled Storm. All of them except Negation. So most of them answer the board as is.
We fight for the glory of lost Almeries.
Picks up the Ice Storm. Then holds. So now you know you've got to play around an Ice Storm. Well, hi Farkas, you gonna get up on the cat tree? Nope, he's approaching the food dish. It might have emptied itself. He had to check and get some more food from it.
Close the formation. You can't defeat me.
Holding Hive Defender in hand. What is Channeler at? Heal for 8. Then heal for 9 as long as the 5th Legion's on board. This is the final set we're waiting on.
I'll whip them into shape. Close the formation.
Try to guard up with a hyped up Hive Defender. Hi, Farkas. Hi. Yeah, head scritches. Shoulder scritches. Tail pulls. The Invade Sigil Stone support things. It is gems now.
Nobody breaks the law on my watch.
Clearing off that 5th Legion is nice. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and play out Clivia.
I'll not bow to these provincial militia.
We will protect the Emperor or die trying.
Keep boosting up his Channeler. We're gonna see Channeler played.
Standing by.
Not at the moment. So he's inviting the Ice Storm here, saying, hey, just play it out. I know you have it. You know I know you have it. Look at all the value you could get. Ugh. Not sure why Cat Cam got moved to the right. Did I bump it? Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Let's, I think it got put on the wrong scene. There we go. Alright, goes to start clearing face.
Cut them down.
Are we going to see a Brahmin Channeler? No, it looks like we're going to see the conscription.
Of the living.
You have +2/+0 in guard, so you're going to try to play around the Ice Storm a bit here. And protect your face. More buffs to the Channeler.
Cut them down.
That is now a heal for 20. Still has to cut through the fact that he's going to have to deal with a Dawn's Wrath, an Ice Storm, and now a Javelin in hand. Immolating Blasts. That's going to be a pretty dead card. Gatekeeper, huh? Just need to connect for 11 from Feller inside. You're like, I just got to get there. Gatekeeper is a 6-attack minion, which threatens lethal over 2. You also know that this card has been held in hand and buffed repeatedly. There's the Journey.
Drown in the river of battle.
Ward this, Javelin that. Just try to keep your precious 6/6 alive. Again. Heal for 20, but doesn't know that yet. Hasn't had his morale snapped like a twig. Yet Fellerin is more robust than most of us. His morale is more solid. He'll take it in stride. He's Telvanni. He's done 20, or he's done 19 points of damage so far. He can do 20 more points of damage eventually. Keyword eventually. Opts to go for clearing the trainer. Could pull Clivia Tharn, which would give everyone in the lane guard. Does play against the Immolating Blast in hand. So maybe you Immolating Blast first and then play Clivia Tharn? Or pull... Well, you can't. She's 4, right? Disregard me. You don't really want a Praetorian Commander, as that doesn't really answer what's on board. You could pull a Hive Defender. Alright, so you're going to need to play out your Channeler. In which case you can pull a Praetorian Commander. Because you're going to be healing for 20. Gonna force Fellerin to clear this lane. Gonna break the ward on it. Nope, opts not to. Picks up a second Dawn's Wrath, though. There is lethal on board for Devil's side. Making sure I've got Discord handled. Fresh start, a really good pool. Fervor, another Channeler.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us.
18, 23, 27. That's lethal. Devil opts not to go for it. $26 cards remaining in deck. There's another Odin So just Odin into yet another... Do you want a journey first? Just put all the... Well, no, because you don't want a journey first, because then you lose it. Am I in the wrong discard pile? Yes. There's Praetorian Commander.
Rise, my servant.
Although you could pull a Necromancer and then pull a Praetorian Commander for extra added spice. Because the next Necromancer will come down as a 3/3, 4/4. Yep. Opts for card draw. Understandable.
No man can deny this.
I'll do what I can.
23 cards remaining in deck. Opts not to kill the Martin. I wonder if that's Fellerin saying, I'm at least going to choose my death. And my death will be by Septum. Martin just needs to have 30 magicka so he can spend up to... I think he can play everything, right? 7, 14... No.
Succumb to me.
It just goes, collects his damage, and next turn is going to be game. Fellerin's still going through the motions, looking to see if he's got an answer. Sothasil wouldn't have done it. So here's where Fellerin's going to take the good man's out. He's either going to pass the turn, or he's going to concede out, as there's no option. There's no option. Alright, play out the hand, show what your opponent had, and then just plays it out. Yep. I don't know. I always like showing people what I had, where it's just like I was holding on to this, or this is what I tried to pull. I don't know, maybe I like showing off my decks too much. That could be a thing. This is the last match we have in the series. So we will see if we are done, or if that was only a partial finish there. Is Fellerin up at the top? Were we chatting? We were chatting. I'll wait and see if they report their score or if they hop into another match. In the meantime, Farkas rates that match 1 foot. He came back just to let us know. Let me see if you guys can see him on Cat Cam. You can, but you can kind of barely see him, because we were zoomed in on the other kitty. Let's back this out a little bit. There we go. I'm not seeing them hop into another game. I'm looking back and forth between the two computers I've got here in front of me. That was Empire versus Tribunal. And Devil has reported that he won the first game with Empire, so that is going to be the end of that match, and we will be going into our finals. Are we roughly on time? Ish. Yeah, 4 hours, 4 rounds. We made up time on the round, not last round, the round before, where we handled that one in roughly half an hour. Some of the Control v Control matchups are just taking a wee bit longer, as would be expected. So with that, let's go ahead and let me back out of their match and get ready to spin up the last round of our tournament. So we've got display capture here. Why was I in this match? That was an old match. Old bracket. New bracket? New bracket. So, standings going into our final round. TMO, currently the only person with a 4 but he is going to need to defend that in round 5. Generate round 5? Yes. So our finals are going to be TMO versus Endol. Dollar versus Kuzia, trying to bring it up and even up. So this match is currently TMO's to lose. Should he win, it is likely that he'll be able to carry it on tie breaks. Tie breaks being his opponent's win match percentage. Though the reason Dollar is so high up is his opponents have had an insane win rate. So his one loss was to someone who has done great, and I'm wondering if that was TMO. Let's go back and check through the brackets. Where's Dollar on here? I Deep Blue. So we know they weren't versus each other here. Dollar and Aquaman. No, they've not faced. Interesting. But that said, round 5 is a go, and we will start by trying to watch all of TMO's matches. TMO's decks that he is bringing versus Endol. If we go into here. So Endol has the Battle Mage, Empire, and Redoran. I believe we've looked at these before, so we'll just kind of skim through again. Just the mid-Battle Mage. Okay, so he had the Modron mid-Battle Mage. I do recall looking at that, and that was fascinating to me. Empire was just a crab painted world Empire. Okay, this could be if Endol is able to take the win. It'll hopefully be because of Painted World. The fact that he is up here near the finals with Painted World is, fingers crossed, a good sign that this card is finally getting the recognition it deserves. TMO is bringing the Sorcerer, the Spell Sword, and the Dagoth. The Sorcerer's been putting in work in what we've seen before. I did not see that he was running Worms King Agent. That is kind of nifty. But overall has done very well with the Sorcerer that we've seen. The Dwemer's neither here nor there. It's a good list. It's worked for him. Dagoth, have we seen his Dagoth list? I think it might have been banned. Or we just weren't present for when it was run. I don't think we've seen this deck be played yet. So what are our bans? If we are the mid-range type deck, I think we're most scared of the king of mid-range, which is Dagoth. Are we running Fel the Mighty in here? No, so we don't have a solid answer to a Hand of Dagoth on curve. We do run Edict in here, I hope? I think, maybe. Nope, maybe not. Instead, we're running Penitus. And that's the closest we're going to get to an answer there. Unless there's Jav. No removal here. Strictly body-based answers. And then a single Gavel. So Dagoth is a bit of a threat there. Redoran's where you get into... I'm going to say get into removal, but no. There's no removal here either, but there is silence in abundance. So I think the Dagoth is going to be the hardest to deal with. Second hardest would be Sorcerer, so I would expect that, but secondarily, maybe you think you can handle the Dagoth and you get rid of the Sorc. I think you're okay versus the Crabs and the Dwemer. You've got... Do you run support removal? No. No. So maybe you don't actually run support removal. So no support removal. So actually, I don't know. All three are going to be relatively large threats then. Then looking at these, I'm probably more scared of the consistent deck. The consistent deck or the deck with Drain. I might ban the BM. Just get that out of the way and then deal with the other two with the Sorcerer or whatever two-color deck I have. Alright, let's see if they are in-game. The bans aren't in, so they're not in-game. So they're going through their own bans as we speak. What do you think, Farkas? You're really squished up. You fit up there. There's empty space. Cat, I haven't seen empty space up there in so long. Well, since Urus was sleeping there, but still. Our other option for people in the finals is Dollar, who is also not in-game. So we'll hold and we'll just watch TMO as soon as they get going. Which, as soon as that happens, I'm going to take a quick bio break. And actually, I might be able to run and do that real quick. So what we're going to do... we're going to take a quick 5-minute here, because I've been sitting and drinking lots of water, and certain things happen when that occurs. I'd love to get them in-game, and... Alright, now, I'm just going to go while they're working on their bans, and I'll refill my water while I'm at it. Alright, a quick wash, I get back, and they are in-game, so we are going in after them. Alright, kitties, this is it. This is the finals, kitty. TMO's trying to take it in. Endel's got ring and is Redoran versus Sorcerer.
Careful there, friend.
Alright, so uses that to get an advantage. We'll probably see the negation come down just to clear this then. Because otherwise there's no trading here. And you want to make Painted World as expensive as possible. So, negation, face, dagger, face. Next turn you're setting up for a... Not the line I predicted. Going for more of a control than a racing run. We're gonna bolt this off the board, trade here. Has broken the rune, giving Eastmarch the card draw.
We'll hold, no matter what.
Okay. You can... Okay, we're gonna Temple Conjurer. That's fine. We just need to get 2 creatures on board to contest 2 creatures. I'm a little confused as to why TMO went for the reactive play.
Mud crab merchant. Read my lips.
Keeps the ramp, throws away Tridala's treachery. So we're gonna see the double trade here, then Gatekeeper.
I only need one shot.
Perfect silence pickup. Endel, not wasting any time going face here, is going to end the game next turn. He's doing the math, seeing if there's any way he could possibly figure this out. So he's hoping that hits something he can negate. It does. And nope, he's still dead because there's a ankle snapper in hand. It is death by crab though, and if you're gonna die, at least be to a crab. Don't play the Orc Clan captain. Don't do it. I need death by crab. I need it. This is what Masters is about. Little crabs scampering off. Alright, so Endo going in for a really solid game one. Alright, so it's time for the Dwemer Spellsword crabs versus the Redoran crabs. Goes with a Bruma, knowing he's going to need that health gain. Opponent opens Rift Thay, and then... it's a pretty split curve there. What's TMO going to open? All three of these are solid opens in their own effect. That puts the most power on the board early. Endel's picked up his Chieftain.
I will push them back.
Is now the time for Bruma. And set up for next turn. Nope, opts just go ahead and put the Reflective down for trading. That's probably the safest option. The way I'm thinking is a bit more of a gamble, and he's wanting to slow this down and just be responsible with his aggression. So you take the trade, start going face. You go face before you play Bruma.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
Talking mud crab merchant.
Grab knife to the throat as a nice emergency silence. Or do you grab the... I mean, you're not going to be triggering expertise. Your opponent might, but it's a 7 cost, and you're trying to... In my mind, you're trying to aggro your opponent down. So grabbing the silence for a guard or, say, a Marauder Chieftain, to me, is of infinite value. So I would keep knife to the throat here. TMO, after some consideration, agrees.
I'll see you dead. I am the shield of my clan.
And is immediately rewarded. Well, he's got the Edict to handle it. An Edict straight answers it rather than needing any form of trade. Allows you to save knife to the throat for something else. Could be debating going face. It'd only be 4 damage and then setting up an Undead Clan Sorceress with a Gearwork Spider to guard over here. Undead Clan goes Shadow. I do think TMO needs to go face here. I think last turn was a mistake, and I think the longer he would continue to wait on that, the harder and harder it's going to get for him.
Talking mud crab merchant. Read my lips. Mouthpaw.
Alright! You keep it a Great Moot Squire or Cal Gruntid? Yeah. Alright, so you can get your Undead Clan Sorceress value here. Throw that into there, that into here. Undead Clan and ring out a Dwarven Sphere. Both of them end up going field and shackling the Reflective Automaton. Well, if you think you can race, Shadow's not the worst. Field gives you versatility to trade, but makes you vulnerable to Orc Clan Captain or Fervor.
We draw power from their blood.
It's not an option. You do need to ring out Dwarven Sphere if you're going to play that way, though. I think that was a mistake.
We stand united.
Because that sets up the easy trade, and now you're behind on board.
I will serve you faithfully.
Did I stutter or something?
And you could have played Halls this turn and would have had value trades. Don't get me wrong, I still think you need to play Halls here. And put a Gearwork Spider in the way over here. I don't think you're able to... I mean, your other option is to Dwarven Sphere this, Gargoyle into Shadow. Or Gargoyle into Field for multiple trades. Because you're looking at him having to trade all three. I don't think Knife to the Throat was one of the plays. Because now a single Fervor cuts through that. I think Endol's going to take this in a 2-0 series. The Marauder Chieftain play, following it up with a Flayer.
At your command. Ready to die.
Did I stutter or something?
Bleed for me.
And now one of your, if you had taken that route, one of your spiders would be dead. You'd be playing into another spider. If your 0 cost was dead, you could Yagram that back. Or if Sphere was dead, yeah. It's... TMO's not out. He is not out. He still has access to an Edict to clear this. And a Shackle to lock down. What do you think that's going to buff? But I think it's too little too late at this point. Yeah, Dwarven Spider's got to go into the Shadow lane so that you can counteract Marauder Chieftain. Because this can't buff itself. Well, I guess Fervor wouldn't have mattered. Because Fervor, it gets the buff.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us!
At your command.
Alright, Spider Worker.
Sniveling coward.
And that's game.
Your flesh.
Endol in 2 really quick back-to-back series, taking it 2-0. That puts who is going to win this up in the air. And if we can find Dollar, that's going to put him into play for first. So he is versus Kuzia here. Tribunal trying to deal with a Withered Hand Cultist. And a Wilds Incarnate that just gained value.
Behold my power. Ita Ori.
What's yours is mine.
Easy as hunting a red skeever in the snow.
I smell the stench of
Alright,
the living.
splitting these up. How many of Grey Vipers do we have in the grave? None. Iron, discount down the actions, draw what back? A Jav or a Storm?
What's yours is mine.
Yeah, I like this route better.
The Nords must take back Skyrim.
Orders. We must remain steadfast.
So it goes to try to pivot again to Shadow for aggro.
We fight for the glory of lost Almeris.
Iron contesting the power of the Withered Hand just a little bit. Putting down Drain, is choosing to hide it or contest with it?
Prepare yourself.
Hides with it. I think that's a good plan.
I smell the stench of the living.
It has been an engaging hunt.
Yeah, it's basically over at this
Fine
point.
battle.
Mighty Conjuring comes down, locks this lane down. Opts to go for a Hive Defender defense. Trying as hard as he can to keep pushing.
You must be cleansed.
Silencing off the drain.
We must protect our stronghold.
You gonna break a rune with that? Ops 2 gives him a Sorcerer's Negation. I'm still a fan of putting the Mighty Conjuring up. Alright. Decides to get the Mighty Conjuring up. And goes into a trade.
Remember this day.
Orcs at the ready.
Oh, it's one shy of the trade. And drops the concession. Kuzia is going to take that one. Well played, both. Let me refresh the bracket, see where we're at for the round. So we got NRO, Mr. Death. Let me make sure they both checked in. Yep, they're playing. We'll watch Dollar, see if that was game 3. They reported their score. No, not yet. Let me see in our standings who else was up competing. Deep Blue Eye. Not in game. Liz Maru. Alright. So versus Seth Maru running a Dwemer Spell Sword versus the Move deck. So I imagine we're going to see a trade here, a Apex Predator come down, because it will then shift Drain for 2. That'll put our opponent at 14, which is just shy of a Swift Strike lethal. Liz agrees. Now with Halls coming down, you become 5, you become 4. That's going to be 9. Dropping Liz to 7, and a guard's getting put up. Needs to get a move, or another move and or another Swift Strike. Doesn't get it. Can bump, Swift Strike bump. That's the only way Liz stays alive here. I think that's going to be GG for her. I think Seth Dove has this. And he's able to quickly follow it up with another Halls of the Dwemer. Is there a possible for a Prophecy? Alright, she just looked to see what she could get. No. There's a Prophecy move, which would shift you once. But that's only, that would leave us 2 from lethal.
I want to be an assassin. I want to be an assassin. Like Nari.
This was a worthy contest.
We didn't get to see Seth of this tournament, so I'm actually glad we caught one at the end of his. Playing a premium Halls of the Dwemer and getting it out in duplicate. Quite nice. Alright. Continuing to watch through these. Who else do we have on our standings list that we need to check? Endel Dollar, Aquaman. We don't know who Aquaman's verse is. His opponent hasn't added us. But he is currently sitting in 4th. Oh. I meant to check how many. It just dawned on me. I was like, I didn't check to see how much Farkas rated that.
Must I do everything myself?
Wait.
I shall be your eyes.
I don't think this is a tournament match. I don't recognize that name. So I'm going to go ahead and back out there. Let me refresh our bracket and we'll take a look at where we're at. Yeah, Aquaman is already done. It's just Devil, Liz Maru, Ermark, Seth Dove, NRO, Mr. Death. I don't see Seth Dove or NRO here. They might be reporting their scores. Ermark is still in game. Versus Devil Signed.
Let's shed some light on the problem.
Telvanni doing Telvanni things.
I have many important things on my mind.
Just gotta close for 2 more. What have we got for health gain? Nothing. Okay. Sancpet Uprising prevents breakthrough. No, that's only 1. I was like, he can rapid shot this, the breakthrough for 1 point of damage. Is there an action that helps you here? I mean, you could Sancpet Abner. Or sorry, was there Abner? I thought he had Abner in hand. Oh, he's holding Abner. Encano Sancpet functions.
I have many important things on my mind.
The struggle is real. Didn't pull it, so you rapid shot Encano, because you want to get Encano down to Cradle Crush range. Lesser Word will be helpful, but after you use your Cradle Crush. Firebolt Cradle Crush. Wipe the lane. I guess you can Firebolt after. It really doesn't matter. And then I would Lesser Ward and I would honestly put Sentinel Battle Mace down as well. Well, I don't know. You know your opponent's running Mute. Might need to Mute and then Fingers of the Mountain here. 1, 2, 3. Fine. 1, 2, 3. Then Abner's gonna pull an action of choice.
I will not be on the wrong side of history.
None of those are good. I guess you're pulling experiments. Mummify, in case they pull a... Well, there's no last gasp in these colors. Goes with the experiments.
My friend would like a comparison play.
That was supposed to go field, so we can't trade. But I guess you just need one of them to connect, and so you'd rather have the others in shadow.
I'll teach you to disrespect God.
Alien Guardian coming down. Ermark's just chanting, Bolt, Bolt. Oh. Garnag's pretty huge.
We must protect the Night Mother.
Because Garnag has breakthrough. If he can set one of them to 2 health or less. If you use negation, you can't use anything else. Mr. Death 1-2-0. Or sorry, 2-1 I think it said. One, 2-1.
A few drinks.
All right,
a few
cycles this over.
What could be better?
So that gives up some time.
Adapt and survive.
That's what he needed to hit. I would have gone ahead and sent one of those in, just to play around the debilitate. Uprising won't do it. You're dead if you play Uprising. The only way out here is to play, well, debilitate or a
Rise, my
sorcerer does it. Blackhand heal for 4. No, gonna go ahead and clear this off. That doesn't do it! Oh! Wait, yeah, it does. Charge. Herp derp. Ermark wins. Ignore me. Ignore me. Farkas rates that 1 paw, while Urst rates it a cuddle. Alright, let me get Mr. Death's score reported. Alright, who do we have left then? Refresh the bracket for one last time. The last game is Ermark Devil. So we're going to have to see if they go in or if they are done. If they are done, let's go ahead and pull up the standings. Alright, so over to brackets. Current standings. So iDeep Blue is winning it on tie breaks at the moment. Second place, Kuzia. Third place, TMO. Then Endel edged out to fourth. Now it is worth noting, all of these people are still getting 12 points toward advancing. The only person who then gets the auto advance is iDeep Blue. Ermark is 2-2, and his opponent, who I already Devil, is 2-2. So yes, there are our finals. These are our final positions as you see them. iDeep Blue winning, Kuzia coming in second, TMO in third. Congratulations to all of you. And to those of you who also still scored 12 points. If you're curious on the current points, if you go over here, there's a link to a spreadsheet that has all the point info on it. Alright, we should be live now. Absolutely live. It was a pretty straightforward Goblin aggro game, and I realize we're starting to go a little long for people. For now, thank you guys for showing up for the tourney. I absolutely enjoy doing this. Hopefully, the negativity will fade once they realize this is happening and nothing they say negative is going to change that. And I'm kind of adopting a policy of rather than try to respond to be responsive, I'm kind of just going to start ignoring it. And just being like, yep, you said negative things. Oh well, not responding. So hopefully that helps as well. But otherwise, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, have yourselves a great night, and best of vibes.